minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 20, 25, 30.
I think we met 3 years ago when you were starting to meditate. And I remember at that time you said that your motivation was to find serenity and peace. What is your practice now?
Still only once a day, and that's at night before I turn in. Because I find that that's a restful period for me with the work behind me. And it helps me relax my mind and go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. And how long do you meditate for?
About 20 minutes, sometimes 25.
I remember last time we met, we spoke about your morning meditation, and you were going to do a 10-minute morning meditation.
Well, I never got around to doing it because I jump up at my emails. But now that I'm less concerned with government, I'm out of the cabinet, I think I'll try that.
I'm going to be teaching some business students next year about meditation and its relationship to leadership. Could you share some thoughts with me about how you might think that a person who meditates would be a better leader? Could you see that connection through your own experience?
Well, my own experience is when I'm stressed to make a decision, I stop and meditate first. And at the end of the meditation, if I'm still of the view that I should proceed, then I proceed. In other words, I still the mind for 20 minutes, insofar as you can still the mind. But the question is still going around in my mind. And after the meditation, I thought, well, that's enough of it. Let's make up our minds.
So it gives you a kind of detachment from the emotional aspects of the decision. Yeah, very interesting. So would you do that during the day, or would you leave that till the evening?
Oh, I do that during the day when I have a problem to resolve and it's irritating me.
I see. So you would just sort of interrupt the flow of the day and stop and meditate if you had a big problem to deal with?
Well, Coxon has given me something which I put on my computer. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 20, 25, 30. So depending on the stress I'm feeling and how long I think I need to vegetate this problem in my mind whilst it is still, I choose the timing.
So if it was a smaller problem, you'd maybe only take 5 minutes.
Well, if it's so small a problem, I don't think I'd bother.
Your comments on meditation and your sharing your own conviction about it, I think really will help many people who carry a lot of responsibility or power in their lives to see in meditation a way that they can have clarity and balance. And
supposing Hitler had taken the meditation, would he have embarked on such a wild and dangerous course to capture Western Europe and Russia all in one go? I think there's a lot to be said for having great leaders of big nations before they embark on a project to sit down, not for a few minutes, but for a few hours each day, meditating on the wisdom of it all. Let's think this over for a few weeks. Let's meditate.
So you would give that advice to world leaders today?
Yes, I would. before they embark on any use of force.
Do you think you could ever persuade world leaders when they come together for their summit meetings or important meetings together to begin their meetings with meditation?
I think that they think it rather odd.
Yes, I think they would.
They've come to discuss serious problems, to get grievances resolved, and you're asking me to meditate.
Okay, I think it would be difficult to persuade them, but would you advise them?
Yes, I would advise them. But then they must have been convinced by their own experience of meditation.
In your book, Hard Truths, you spoke about meditation in one section and said that you thought it would be a good thing to introduce it into schools.
Yes.
Could you say something about that, and would you recommend that to?
First, the teacher must be in acceptance of the virtue and the value of it. I would have no doubts that with the proper teachers, you'll have a more orderly classroom. I have to say a 10-15-minute meditation before lessons begin.
Because we live in a very pluralist society, in any classroom today you're going to have children of different faiths or different faith traditions. They may not be practicing their faiths, but they've been formed by them. Would you agree that meditation has, in a pluralist society like ours, and especially like Singapore, that meditation can help to unify a diverse group like that?
It shows how intrinsically close to each other we are as human beings. The Buddhists practice it, the Muslims practice it, the Hindus practice it, the Christians practice it, the non-believers like me also practice it. It gives you a certain serenity after you have meditated, say, for 20-25 minutes. I find 10 minutes too short.
Yes. Yes, we generally recommend 20 minutes as a minimum. But with children, we recommend 1 minute per year of their age. So if they're 5 years old, they meditate for 5 minutes. And usually they can meditate for longer, but
how do you motivate the teachers unless they believe in it?
Has meditation given you a sense of what the spiritual values of life mean?
Well, I'm a non-spiritual person, so that's a wrong question to put to me. It's not so much the spiritual value, it is the value it has in helping me resolve problems. But undoubtedly, in the long run, it must alter a person's character.
In what way?
Making him realize that there's an inner self which is more important than the one who is thinking about himself.
So that we have a true self as well as a sort of public self.
Well, all of us have that, but not all of us have the realization that this is your true person. This is what you really are.
And would you say that meditation has brought you to a better realization of your true self?
Yes, I would say so.
And you wouldn't call that a spiritual discovery?
Because I'm not a spiritual person.
I think in a way what you're describing is what I would call a spiritual experience or a spiritual discovery, not religious, but I would understand it as a spiritual one. But maybe I'm playing with words, but I think there's a difference between spiritual and religious?
I haven't thought about that. I've always intertwined the two together.
The first time we met, and I remember when I came to your hotel in London, do you remember? And I came in the morning and we talked for a few days. And I thought it was very interesting for me because you were not frightened of the religious background, but you focused, it seemed to me, very clearly on the spiritual content. So it always has seemed to me that your response to meditation has been, in a sense, spiritual, but without the religious context or content.
I would agree with that.
And I'd like to thank you for the way you have responded to this teaching on meditation and the conversations we've had over these years. They've been both enjoyable and instructive to me.
Thank you very much. You have helped me.
In meditation, we make a journey from the busy and sometimes overactive mind to a deeper center that we can call the heart, a place of serenity and light and peace. And this journey involves taking the attention off our thoughts, and to do that we have to have some help, some method, because we can't stop thinking by thinking. And this is why we say the mantra. We take a word and repeat the word gently but faithfully in the mind throughout the time of the meditation. As thoughts arise, we allow them to fall away, and when we become distracted by our problems, by our plans, by our memories, we return to the clarity of the mantra. We return to the word continuously. And in doing this, we are really developing three essential elements. The first is silence. You could say that meditation is the work of silence, because it is the work of attention. When we pay attention, we are in effect becoming silent, because we're becoming focused and concentrated. And silence is this work of attention in meditation, because as we say the word, we are taking the attention off the stream of thoughts and imagination and anxiety or plans that are normally filling our minds. So this is the quality of silence. The second quality that we've spoken about is the quality of stillness. The stillness of body helps to come to a stillness of mind. With that stillness of mind comes a clarity, a transparency, and a joyfulness. When the mind becomes still, it lets go of desire. And so we experience detachment from our plans and attractions and all the other forms of desire that we have. And again, the mantra helps to still the mind, because it allows us to let go of our desires. And the third element is the quality of simplicity. And in simplicity, we are not analyzing ourselves. We're not evaluating ourselves. We learn to be, not to perform, not to achieve, not to be successful, not to be perfect, not to be defensive, but just to be. And with that comes a great expansion of consciousness, a great deepening of our spirit. So these are the three qualities that we bring to develop to development in meditation, silence, stillness and simplicity. And these qualities develop very naturally and extend into all areas of our life through this amazingly simple discipline of the mantra. And that's what we have shared together on all the occasions we've met, and that's what we can practice together again now. So the basic rule of posture is to simply sit as comfortably but as still as possible. Put your hands on your lap, on your knees, in whatever way allows you to be still, relaxed and alert. Close your eyes lightly. Breathe normally. And then silently, in your heart, in your mind, begin to say your word, your mantra. And the word we recommend is the word Maranatha. Ma-ra-na-tha.